The air grew thick with a tension you could almost taste. Every radio broadcast crackled with new alerts, each one a nail in our coffin. States were sealing their borders, one by one. The maps we'd once spread across dusty car hoods, full of endless possibilities, now looked like a cage. Every black line marking a highway was a bar, and the red X's we drew over closed crossings were locks we couldn't pick. It felt like the whole country was holding its breath, waiting for us to make one final, fatal mistake. The world was shrinking, and we were trapped in the middle of it. The hum of the engine, our only lullaby. The scent of gasoline, our only perfume. Beside me, Bonnie's breath would catch with a sharp hiss every few steps. Her limp was more pronounced now, a constant, painful reminder of that last botched bank job. The bullet had torn through her thigh, and without proper medical care, the wound festered. I'd watch her bite her lip, her face pale, trying to hide the agony as she walked from the car to some rundown motel room. She'd force a smile, a ghost of the fiery grin that first captivated me. But her eyes told the real story. They were clouded with pain and exhaustion. Each night, I'd clean the wound as best I could with whiskey and boiled rags, my hands shaking. Her quiet strength was terrifying. She never complained, never shed a tear in front of me. But I'd hear her muffled sobs in the dead of night when she thought I was asleep. That sound was a blade twisting in my gut, a heavier burden than any lawman's rifle. And the guilt, it was a constant companion, a shadow that clung to me tighter than my own skin. I was the one who pulled her into this life. I'd promised her adventure, a life less ordinary, a dance on the edge of the world. I never told her about the fall. I saw her then, a small-town girl with stardust in her eyes, and I wanted to give her the moon. Instead, I'd dragged her through the mud, through shootouts and frantic escapes. I saw the girl she was, and the woman I had turned her into. Every pained step she took was a fresh accusation. Every time she flinched at the sound of a backfiring car, my heart clenched. I'd look at my own hands on the steering wheel. The same hands that held hers, that held the guns, and I'd see nothing but the architect of her ruin. The love was still there, a fierce, desperate thing, but it was now tangled up with this profound, suffocating regret. The practicalities of survival were becoming a nightmare. Gas stations were no longer just a place to refuel. They were potential traps. Every attendant's gaze felt like an accusation, their hands hovering just a little too close to the telephone. We started siphoning fuel from parked cars in the dead of night, the taste of gasoline on my tongue a bitter sacrament. Food was just as scarce. The days of walking into a diner and ordering a hot meal were long gone. Now, we survived on stale crackers, canned beans heated over a sputtering campfire, and whatever we could grab from a grocery store in a 3-minute dash. Hunger became a dull, constant ache in our stomachs. I'd give Bonnie most of what we had, telling her I'd already eaten. A lie she saw right through but was too tired to argue with. We were ghosts haunting the backroads, running on fumes and empty promises. The open road had once been our sanctuary, a symbol of freedom. Now, it was a dead end. Every direction we turned, we were met with the ghosts of our past and the certainty of our future. The hope that had fueled us for so long was sputtering out. Just like the gas in our tank, we used to dream of Mexico, of a new life under a different sun. We'd talk about it for hours, painting a future that grew more vibrant with every telling. But the border was a fortress now. The West was a closed door. The East, a memory of everything we'd lost. We were adrift in the heartland, a place that no longer felt like home, surrounded by people whose faces were a mixture of fear and condemnation. The engine would cool in the silent dark, and in that quiet, the truth was deafening. There were no more roads to run. There was only the end of the line, waiting for us just around the next bend. We were just Bonnie and Clyde, and we were completely, utterly out of time.